Thursday, and this week I think we're going to be crocheting some of the creatures from Hollowknight. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that you all live under the same rock as I do, and you are aware that Hollowknight Silksong came out a couple of days ago. Every time I encounter a picture from this game, I am reminded about how much I enjoy the character design that they've used. So today we're going to make a couple of them. Now, one of the ideas out there is that I play the game, and then anytime anything like ends my run, I stop and I make that. However, I'm worried that that borders too close to like spoiler territory, and I wanted to like pick some characters that seem to be a little bit more already known to people so that I don't trespass into that zone. That said, if you want to see me be terrible at a game and have to make a bunch of the basic creatures from probably the first area, you just let me know. But anyway, I think we're going to start today by making Hornet. Okay, and I am still expecting to do 3 today, so we'll just doop-a-doop-a-doo. That's the rules, right? Doing one just never feels satisfying enough. But anyway, let's get started with Hornet. So there's kind of like a stag beetle-esque design to the head. See, and I'm already making them too chunky. Okay, we've got like a little flippy cape type of thing. So it cuts off like here. And there's distinctive folds to it. I feel like I know how to make that shape, but I couldn't tell you one example of where I've actually managed to do it. So we will see how we go there. But we do have some little legs. Now the trick here today is going to be to decide whether or not we do this particular critter standing or sitting, because like this is not providing us a great deal of stability. Now, she does have a sword, which we can use to create a third point of stability, meaning hypothetically we could have her standing. Looking at the design aesthetic for all of the creatures, but specifically for Hornet, there's a lot of like very thin little pieces, and I am of course limited to how small I can get a tube to be. So like they are going to limit how big the rest of it has to be. So we're going to find all that out together. Alrighty, so we need some colors. So I've got some red, I've got some white and some black, and that is all there is to it here. I had another look. We also need some grey for the sword. So that is our color palette. Alrighty. So in terms of pieces, I think this is actually a really easy breakdown. So we have the head, which has like 1 starting point, but 2 finishing points. So we will have to like shape that accordingly. So yeah, keeping this long and narrow enough is the goal. And I'm thinking it's going to be an odd number of stitches around. She just feels like a gal who wants to be odd. Okay, that's 9. It's 12. That's right, we're working it out as we go. 17, turns out. Turns out that Hornet has a 17 width head, which kind of suits her, I think. Okay, now we just need to add a little bit of length. Been asked why I do this to my yarn. It's because it's fun to look at. That's all. That's as simple and as complicated as it is. Horns extend out to like here. I think we're okay. So I need to close off this opening now into like 2 horns. Tidy it all up later. Okay, so that's 1. So we just do the other thing on, so we just, the other thing. We just do the same thing on the other side. It's no big deal. Why am I chaining? Focus, hands, focus. That looks proportionate enough to me. Finish these off and get them all woven properly. Chuck some little placeholder eyes in for now. Excellent. All right. She's gonna get you. Wait. I'm thinking that 4 stitches around is as thick as we can go with the legs. And 4 stitch around tubes are no fun to make. I'm gonna warn you now, but they have narrow little legs in these designs, and so I don't make the decisions here. I just work here. So I don't want my loops, I don't want raw loops exposed around the edge of what is supposed to be a piece of fabric. So I'm just going to try some like disguise techniques. You can do this with a needle as well, but I'm just going to do it as I stitch. It's a little trickier to do, but what it does is it leaves you with like this really nice finished off looking edge as opposed to a loopy looking edge. Twirly, twirly, twirly. There we go. And now we need to actually extend it down into the body. Good. Okay, so that's the collar of our cape. 1, and I'm just going to mark the first front loop we're leaving free so I can definitely find it again later. For some reason, red is just a little bit hard for me to work with than a lot of colours. 5. I should not have complained about how difficult red was to work with, but we'll get over it. Already feels like we're getting tall enough. And we're missing stitches. I'm gonna frog the bug all the way back until I find where the problem started. Which I think was really early on. I dropped a stitch here back at the colour change. Alright, cool. Now just to redo some of that lost work. You better come out looking great, Hornet. That's all I have to say about that. Let's get just a little bit of stuffing into this body section. Good, now I just have to Now I just have to reattach and make another leg. I've already lost track of my stitches. Ah! Where is your other loop? I know you have 2 of them. That's how this whole thing works. No, see, I've had to resort to front loop only. That's not going to be sturdy enough in this case. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I've got 5 there, so I just need to do a decrease while also keeping track of where my 4 stitches are. Cool, 2, much better already. 4, perfect. All right, cool. Now we can carry on. That's the same length as the other leg, or it should be. I think I might have pulled the stitches too much as I was working them. That is the same number of stitches as the other leg, though. Should have waited to weave the ends in till I'd made the cape, but oh well. No! Put the marker back in! What are you doing? Is that it? Is that where... Oh, no! Okay, don't do what Donnie Don't does. That was dumb. But here we have a little body, a little stag beetle for a head, and they're about the same height, which I think is proportionate based on the reference images I have. Just like jab this together for a second. The last thing we need to do here, well, okay, we've got a couple of things still to do here. The next thing we're going to do here is we're going to reattach to where I just took the marker out and create the little swirl of the cape. I'm really used to working with multiples of 6, and so making a little cape with 6 little like floops is not too bad. See if this magic trick works. Ready? Alright, cool. We're going to go with that as that solution. I'm just going to take a needle real quick and we're going to fix the hem up. So like I did twisted single crochet around like the collar, but you can very easily hide loops at the end as well. I wonder. Oh, I can. Haha, I can pull the skirt in this way. That's going to save me a lot of effort. I won't have to sew it in place because I just literally pulled the ends in. It's looking very capey, very capable. Yeah. Right, hopefully that's a suitable body. And that goes there. And we need some little eyes. Let's do some little eyes. So I could just try and embroider these on, but there's a pretty good chance that I'd muck them up, so it's just better for me, personally, if I start with a base crochet piece. So far she hasn't been able to see us and judge us. She does give me the impression that she's quite a judgmental little bean. So we're just gonna have to rely on my sewing ability, which is just always an interesting tactic. Okay, I think that's about as close to the eye shape we're looking for as we could possibly have hoped to make. So there's that little girl. And okay, sword. Sword. Don't know what we're going to do about sword. I don't really want to make it as a tube, but it can't be a 2-dimensional piece either. But I'm thinking if I make it as like 2 flat pieces, I then might be able to just like sew it together. So let me start by making the loop at the top. And then we're in like a narrow part of the sword. That's kind of the handle, which is about the same length as one of her prongs. Okay, now I need to make it a little wider. Is an increase sufficient, or do I want to go wider again? Wider again. About the same thickness as her leg. Anyway, I still think it needs to be wider in the next row. Okay, I think the length of it's fine. I do think I've made it too wide. So I'm actually going to frog this whole thing all the way back. thinner, better. Now, obviously this is still too flimsy to be what we're talking about, but that's where part 2 comes in. This is part 2. It's the exact same pattern minus the loop at the top, and it's going to allow us to create a nice little sandwich. And I'm going to try and find something that I can use to stabilize the middle of this. I'm thinking some wire. I don't know, I reckon that might be too thick, or it's exactly what I'm looking for. And we just sew these two pieces together around that bit of wire. Part of me's wondering right now if I should have just like formed the piece of wire into an approximate sword, but we're here. We're fiber artists. We're gonna make the fiber do the art. The execution perfect? No. Is it doing its best? Yeah. Okay, we have swishy swishy sword. Alright, so now I guess I just have to like assemble this and hope it looks alright. It's really just the eyes and the head. So black or white to attach the eyes, this is the question. Okay, position wise, I think they're in the right spot. I'm trying to work tiny little stitches kind of just under the ends of the pieces. Should have unpinned the body for this. Didn't. Not the most perfect job I've ever done, but yeah, it'll do. Now we just need to sew the cap to the head. Gonna use red for this because then I can be a little rougher with it. Okay, and now this. I know if she's sitting, it goes like across her back. I will work this out. I think there is about right. Because there's just not a lot of like base piece to attach anything to. Rickety little creature that you are. Am I really going to be foiled by the angle of a sword? Is that what's happening to me right now? Okay, everywhere it's touching, I'm going to anchor it down. I think you can see the exact moment I gave up trying to make her stable. I just didn't want to put her in the seated pose, even though it probably would have been cute and achievable. Which is crafting gold, really. Cute and achievable. Alrighty, there is Hornet. Well, my closest approximation to her. Some of the pieces were more successful than others. She was not a bad little warm-up. And I think the next character might actually be a little bit easier, but I just wanted to start with the main star. She does stand, it's just she just needs to be slightly propped. Okay, so with little Hornet made, the next one I wanted to try was another little character. Just a little dude named Sherma. He's got a little song. It's very cute. Anyway, he's a lot harder to match the colours for though. So I've already kind of pulled out some close approximations. That with the white and the black. And I'm hoping that he doesn't take quite as long as Hornet did. Because there is still a third one that I want to get to today, and I feel like the third one's going to take a while. Sherma seems to be this like round little innocent belle type dude. I'm going to try and make him proportionate to Hornet as well. Why so many donuts, Sherma? Why so many donuts? We boring you, Hornet. Just to break this down a little bit, we're going to need a few more pieces than we did with Hornet, because Hornet we managed to break down into just like 2 or 3 pieces. Sherma's got a few more things going on. Just to keep them all looking like a set, I'm going to do the legs the same width that I did Hornet's, but they just have to be like shorter. So that's our palette, and it's kind of like, it's actually a very toasty, warm, autumnal kind of palette as well. So I'm feeling this. Tacky on. All right, let's pop those to one side. Let's make some little Sherma pieces. I'm going to do something unusual. I'm going to start by making the legs. I've already established what scale the legs need to be at. So it makes sense that I just make them first because they're already kind of locked in. Do I enjoy making tubes of 4? No, I do not. Am I going to persist in doing so for the duration of this project? Probably. Are they too short? No, they feel about the right height, honestly. Just a little guy. See this? No other yarn gives me this kind of problem. It's like full on just wrapped itself around and around the hook. It doesn't even know why it's like this. Alright, that is a leg. I'm not super impressed with you so far, Sherma. Currently you're annoying me. 2 little legs. They are the same thickness as Hornet's legs, so that should make them look proportionally part of the same universe. So now I'm going to work up the little like body and head, and I'm going to do something unusual here. I'm going to start at the base of it and work upwards instead of at the top and work down. That's because the top of it's going to be hidden by the symbol hat, and the bottom of it's going to be visible, potentially. So let's make sure it looks nice. The starts of my rows always look better than the ends of my rows. I can't help it. I think I'm going to have to go up to 24 stitches around here. 1, 2, 3, but at least it's not a 4-stitch tube! Yum, 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 yum. I don't know why I like it so much, it's just fun. It's like yum, 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 yum. It's just a chubby little guy, little bauble. I've never seen this guy from the side, so I'm making stuff up. But he's definitely got just a cute little like blob settlement, which means we increase a lot at the start. Yes, he needs to blob a lot initially, and then blobbing less as we go on. Gotta have something in your head there, mate. It's important. Close you off here. Trust me, you'll feel better for it. Mine's currently too open. Brain might fall out. I know you can't hear me or anything. In fact, you don't even appear to have ears. You just seem to need some reassurance. I feel like you can pick up on my vibe. My resonance. You're a bell. You get it. Well, technically, you're a symbol. I'm going to leave that there because I want the freedom to come back here and adjust this. So the next thing we're going to do is the face, and I'm feeling kind of contrary about the face, if I'm honest. So the logical thing to do would be to just create a little white circle and call it a day, but I don't want the stitches to run around in a circle on a face. I'd rather them be like straight across. So we're going to complicate things in an unnecessary fashion, just so that things look exactly the way that I want them to look. There we go. Oh, so much better with the stitches running across. Like, I'm not making this up, just like you can see for yourselves how superior that is as a method. That's the current state of being. So I think the next thing we need to make is the symbol for the top of the head. I think that's what's going to really help bring this all together. A dome for the dome. A symbol of his hat. Oh, we're doing fine, folks. We are doing just fine. Don't you worry about that. This is too slow. Let's speed this up. There we go. And I'm going to leave a long tail because just like we did with the hem of Hornet, I want to erase the loops from around our symbol. There we go. The loops have been erased, giving us a nice crispy edge. Okay, so that's the top of the dome. Alright, need some more little pieces. So there's the little peanut. Now as for the donut, I think we're just gonna maybe leverage an exaggerated magic ring. I'm thinking 9, 7, 8, and 9. Actually, you know what? I even like the look of the stitches for this piece. They can stay. I'm also a little bit stunned that I've picked 2 very people-y characters to start with, but it's alright. I've got plans to go very creature-y for the third, at least. Cape. We're missing cape. No cape. We need a cape. Now I want, like, a narrowish point on either end of this. Okay, now sometimes that shrinks up a little bit, so let's just try that on again. Okay, it's a little tight of a fit, but I can stretch it as I sew it. So now we just need a little bit of a flare. Oh, actually I think we've reached the required length. Wouldn't want you to be overdressed now, would we, mate? Don't get me wrong, it still needs a hem. Basically strangle you by the time I'm done, and that's okay. I'm fine with it. Perfect. Winged it and had the perfect amount. Cape. Just be careful around jet engines, alright, mate? Voila. Is an arm. Means we need a second one. And yet, he needs his staff, okay? I believe his staff is basically the same color as his body, but I might use the same lighter grey that I used for Hornet's weapon, just because it kind of establishes a certain sensibility to the world. Okay, now let's just make you a narrow little tube for your pin. Okay, and that will go there. Oh, and then of course the cape. Excellent. Okay, well, now we just need to take all this off and sew it all together. Stop it. Stop it! Now look, I know you want to help, but this is actually just really unhelpful. Okay, I think they actually turned out pretty well. Okay, pleased with that. Moving on. Don't look at me like that. It's gonna be fine. Hey, I'm genuinely stumped as to whether to do the arms or the cape next, but I feel like the cape kind of goes over the top and covers everything, so it has to be the arms next. I'm wondering if I can pull off a heist and attach the hand to the peanut using the grey without anyone being able to tell. It's lazy, and I should swap colours, but here we are. Oh, another successful heist. Can't even tell. Alright, buddy, come here. And there is my little Sherma. There he is next to Hornet. So those are our first two little buddies. I have just one more planned, and it's a little bit more creaturey. It's a little bit more creaturey than these two are, but I also think it's the closest thing to a spoiler that we have in this video. So I guess if you've made it this far, you don't really care about that. But we have to make the puppy, the bell beast. So that's gonna be our final piece for the day. Okay, so we are now getting to the main event, which is of course the bell beast. And I have to tell you right now that while I tried to keep the other two kind of proportionate with one another, to make the bell beast proportionate with the Hornet that we've made, it'd end up like this big. We don't have time for something this big, but we might be aiming for something like this today. So instead of the full baguette, we're going to go for like tiny cob, all right? Single serve. It's like, he is perfection. He is everything you would ever want in a little tardigrade friend, because he gives me tardigrade vibes. He's also just like sort of a little bit toothless, a little bit Stitch, which also implies that he's probably a little bit Catbus from Ghibli as well. So like there are references present here, but all in a delightfully buggy package. He's got the Oogie Boogie deep within his buggy body. Little cuddlesome crumpet type of angle. How many legs do you reckon this guy has? Five. Wow, a lot of legs. And he's got like very segmented body as well. Forgive me if you can hear the washing machine in the background, but sometimes you just gotta do laundry on a day you're filming. But if I draw him from the side, he's almost like a big gulp of air and then a sigh. It's just like overall, he's just a very good boy. I also have this little cute picture of him like popping out the dirt in like the first instance, and it's kind of like this, like, mother, I crave to be born. Right? So I've got some nice neutrals. The Boring Colour Brigade is rejoicing at the moment. I'm going to go with how he looks in the game, I think, as opposed to the concept art. He's mostly cream with like a darker underbelly, which I think is the beige. Like, there's so many ways to break this down, and like you could totally make it like a fidget slug as well so that it like was coily, but again, that would just take hours on top of what we actually have planned here today. So I think instead what we do is we create a base piece, like a stable base for the body, ending in the tail that will be visible. Nice little overlappy skull piece, which has our pointy bits on it. You guys get along? Thank you. Like so. And then it's just a matter of making a bunch of like little legs, which seem to be like little pointy points, and like arranging them at some fun angles, making like 10 of them. So many legs. Then we have just the shell pieces for the back. So I do have some plans here. I'm going to try and keep him to, as mentioned, personal loaf, single serve size, as opposed to the whole baguette. But baguette. But we're just gonna see how we go. So this base piece will be made in our beige. There's gonna be lots of beige and a lot of neutral colors, I think, here. Let's get you out the way, even though I love this picture. This is great. Sorry guys. I think even if it doesn't come out looking exactly like the Bell Beast, these two here will create a more cohesive look. And I'm going for like a very shallow angle on this mouth. Sorry, I know you can definitely hear that machine at this point. Okay, see, the mouth starts to form. It'll look more like a mouth in a second, don't you worry about that. I think we're getting closer to what I want this base piece to be at. And you guys might not be able to see a difference between the two, the various things that we've tried so far, but that's all right. It's just sometimes just something as simple as like one stitch being off stops the vision from taking shape. We have a base for our worm! Legs. There we go. We got lots of little leggies now. Careful, he's ticklish. So, pop you over there. I think we need to be brave and tackle the headpiece next. Here's a face! So far so good? Alrighty, so I've made 1,000,000 pieces of shell. Need to assemble the little guy. Hello. What do you think, guys? Are we passing muster so far? I'm thinking about using safety eyes, and I know I didn't for the other two, but I feel like they might really do something here. Like, oh, they might be too big, never mind. Good idea in theory, right? Because I could use the big ones and then the little ones. Do I love this or do I hate this? He kind of just looks really surprised. Let's put these shell pieces off to one side. I think we're going to do it. I think we'll use safety eyes. Oh, I hope I still feel that way in a minute. Sorry, Sherma. Okay, I'm gonna have to keep a firm grip on him now because he can run away. I do think I need to do something with the eyelids. I think they are letting down our little bug at the moment. The eye shape should be slightly more angular. Well, that's not working. Let's go. Let's kick this up a notch. I don't know if I've necessarily captured it properly, but I think I've done my best. It's a cute little grubby thing, even if I don't know if it's necessarily a bell beast. But you guys can let me know how I did. So there is Hornet, Sherma, and the bell beast. And my extremely messy desk, but you'll forgive me for that. So yeah, those are our 3 little Hollowknights guys that we've made today. I hope you had fun. Okay, bye! I decided the eyes were still bothering me, so I did come back in and I did adjust them slightly, and I don't know if you can even tell, but I do think they are a little bit better now. I think the safety eyes were potentially the wrong choice, but we've done what we can with them. Oh, you just took Sherma out completely. Okay, you happy with yourself? Fine, that's fine. Alrighty, and we need to start with the thinnest piece because they are our limiting pieces, so I think I actually don't want to start with the sword. I think I actually don't want to start with the sword. That sentence took a turn midway through. I'm looking forward to finding out if playing this game is as difficult as making these characters is. Maybe just jumping on a trampoline, you know? I mean, technically it's a literal brass instrument, but what does it count as percussion? I don't think any of this is relevant. Cut it. Cut it all. It's like everything else is kind of fun. Everything else is just cute little shapes with interesting like points and stuff to it. But like having to take hours to make like 4 stitch tubes are my purgatory. They are. It's just like they are so annoyingly hard, and they don't even come out that much better than a 6 stitch tube. I'm getting crochet doll fatigue. Creatures invigorate me. Little people exhaust me. Don't worry, they're not going numb. They just have pins and needles. Like a darker beigey colour for his underbelly. So hold on 1 second. Oh good, you are recording. That's good news for me. That's good news for everyone. It means you're going to actually get to see this. Ah! It's a mammoth swine attack. So with that done, I do have to still work out... Come on guys, work with me. We're nearly done. Oh, come on! But yeah, you guys let me know if you want to see me fail terribly at playing. But yeah. There'll be a pattern out next week. I think it's going to be the blobfish, so you can look forward to that.